You can never make me feel envy. When I know deep down you feel empty. That's why you overcompensating. Your moves don't match what you be saying. I wanna stay, but you be playing. How many times I gotta say this?
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Janique. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for trusting me with your content. I appreciate all the new subscribers that I've gotten so far. That number is going up. Thank you so much. And if you are new here, this is your first time, go ahead and lock into my channel by clicking on that subscribe button and also clicking on the notification bell. That way you never miss an episode of anything that I'm doing here. Today, I want to talk to you about how to find yourself is to really find God. And I'm going to be teaching you how to tune into who you really are as a person. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and hop into it. The most important part of finding out who you really are is to really detox from your environment, from social media, from your friends, from your family, from lovers, past lovers. You have to truly rid yourself of everything that you don't want to be in order to become the person that you want to become. I think it's important to see yourself as God sees you, as opposed to seeing yourself as the world has seen you this whole time. You have to view yourself through a new lens. Now, in order to detox from your environment, you may need to relocate and not tell anybody where you stay. In order to detox from social media, you can delete the apps on your phone. But the main part of that is going to be really kind of being alone with God, right? The only way to know what you really like and dislike is to kind of rid yourself of everything. Now, I'm going to be talking about a key story here that I think is so monumental to who I am as a person, because it changed my whole outlook on imitation being the highest form of flattery. Now, I had an apartment when I was younger, and for a while I was living with my sister until we just couldn't get along anymore. She decided to move out, which I was grateful for. So I spent some time alone by myself. And let me tell you how people really wedge their way into your life to steal who you are, because you may think that you're not amazing and you're not the best thing since sliced bread, but other people see you for who you really are, which is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I need you to see yourself as God sees you, because the people around you are not going to confirm for you who you really are, because they don't want you to know. They want you to be blind to the fact that you really are the shit. Because if you find out that you the shit, you're going to be like, why am I hanging around this person? I'm the shit. Now, let me get back to my story. So, I was staying by myself for a while, and I had a birthday coming up. For my birthday, I was promoting for a club I was going to be at, and I had a girl hit me up on social media like, hey, can I come to the club with you? Now, this is when social media, like, first, you know, it was really not that serious back in the day for somebody to hit you up on social media to come out to the club with you. So I told her, yeah, like, pull up, like, we're gonna go, we'll pregame, whatever, like that. And we actually ended up having a great time together. And I'm just telling you how this escalated to what it became. Now, this girl who came to the club with me inserted herself in my life. She saw my relationship with my sister. She saw when my sister moved out. She saw everything, right? So she worked on me for months, maybe even a year. I really don't know how long we had known each other before this happened, but she had worked on me for a while, because people like to make you feel comfortable with who they are before they ask for what they really want, right? So when she saw my sister move out, she saw an opportunity. Now, I had stayed by myself for about 5 months, and then she came to me with this story, like, about her parents, you know, separating, and they were going to be splitting up, and she couldn't stay with them anymore, blah, blah. So me being the person who I am, and everybody knows this about me, I want to help. So the first thing I say is like, and this is how people set you up, because they know you're going to offer to help, right? So watch people. She told me the sob story. I'm like, man, girl, you know my sister moved out. Like, you can move in with me. Like, we ain't paying shit for the rent. At the time, my rent was only $500. I'm like, we ain't paying nothing for the rent. You know what I'm saying? Half and half. Like, we good. Like, we can do that. She like, are you sure? Like, I'm like, yeah, come on. So she moved in, right? I immediately knew I had made a mistake about a weekend, because I used to have a lock on my door, right? From when my sister was living with me, because she'll come in and take my clothes, right? So I had a deadbolt on my door. And she didn't like that. She didn't like the fact that she did not have access to my things. So she went and got something put on her door as well. I'm like, that's weird. Then I started having a problem with her paying the rent. Now, again, my rent was only $500 at the time. This girl could not come up with $250 a month to pay the rent. She had issues paying the internet bill. It was always something going on. So I'm like, dang, why did I let her move in? I could have paid everything by myself, you know, and be at peace with it. But this is my friend, so let me stick with it. Now, we ended up going somewhere for, okay, let me tell you. So she wasn't seeing anybody when she first moved in. Then she started seeing a guy, started bringing him around. Now, I did not have any furniture in my living room when she moved in. I ended up getting furniture, and right after she moved in, it was really quick actually. I just went into a store one day, got me some furniture, had it delivered. And she had a party probably the next night, right? Now, at this party that she had gathered everybody together at my crib for to celebrate my furniture, she had a guy there who burned a hole in my couch with his blunt. So I was like, wow, what kind of friend is this? You just have people come over to my home and don't even tell me about it. I end up sitting on the couch and seeing it for myself. You know, she dropped coals on my floor from her hookah. Like she was dropping everything. She was dropping drinks on the floor. She was like really ruining my home. And when I started checking her about what she was doing, she did not like that. But I could see why your parents have kicked you out. If this is how you act in other people's stuff, in other people's shit, I can see why your parents would get rid of you. Right? So at the end of the day, you have to make yourself a welcome guest. Like, nobody wants you around if you're going to be ruining everybody's stuff because you've never had anything of your own. So, I remember she would give me the cold shoulder, and whenever she gave me the cold shoulder, the guy she was seeing, when he come over, he would start doing the same thing. And I'm like, wow, you live with me and you're not going to speak. Not only that, you're going to have your boyfriend come in and not speak as well. Like, I'm like, what is wrong with this girl, right? So we end up making up because she made her payment for the rent. People always want to be mad at you when they owe you money. Okay. Fast forward, we went out for her birthday. For her birthday, she had like a party bus, and on the party bus, it was the guy there who had burned a hole in my couch, and it was a bunch of other people, right? Rent was shortly due because her birthday is like right a few days before the month ends, and then rent is due right after, right? So when rent time came around, she was like, oh, hey, I cannot pay the rent this month because, I can't pay the rent right now because that party bus that I got for my birthday, the guy who burned a hole in my couch had stole a sign off of the bus, and they were holding $250 for the deposit for the sign until they bought the sign back. Like, I believe that shit. I was like, girl, you don't have $250 extra laying around? Like, come on. Like, if you don't got nothing else, have your bill money. You feel what I'm saying? So that drove a bigger wedge in our relationship because it pissed me off. And you got a man. He's here every day. I'm not understanding. Then she tells me, hey, I need you to stop being naked when my boyfriend comes over. Bitch, this is my house. Nobody told you to get a man with no house. Nobody told you that. Nobody told you to get a man with no crib. Nobody told you to do that. That was your decision. And I have to suffer. This is my home. I'm not understanding. And this is why I never get a roommate again, because it'd be too many rules with these other people. Like, I could be by myself and pay all the rent and do what I want to do in here. As opposed to having you here, you think you got half to say, but my name is on the lease. Absolutely not. But let me talk about what the real issue was, because the money was not really even the issue, because if you're my friend, I don't care that you don't have it. As long as you communicate with me, we're good. What I was really worried about is how she started acting. She started copying everything that I did. If I ordered something, she would go and order the same thing. First, when she would ask me where I got things from, I didn't think anything of it because I don't mind. I'm not going to gatekeep a store. But when she started buying the exact same thing I would buy, I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you? What's happening with you? Why do you want to look like me? And correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. Like, doesn't that bother you when people do that? They would ask you where you got something from and go buy the exact same thing. That is so weird to me. Why do you want the exact same thing I have? I have it already. You should want something else. I don't get people. And I look better than you in it. It'd be my thing. And like, I look better in it. Like, let me stop playing. I'm not playing for real, but. So, down to my hairstyles. And at the time I had about half my head shaved, but I would switch back and forth between like a U-part wig and like a curly wig, right? And she go do the exact same thing. It was freaking me out. She started talking like me. She started acting how I acted. It was literally freaking me out. And I'm like, you're in my home. Oh my God. So, I ended up moving out, and then when I moved out, I got another roommate that I'll tell y'all about it in another story. But when I moved out, it gave her the opportunity to try to be herself because she was trying to be me and she could not even keep up. You get what I'm saying? She had to detox from me in order to be who she really is, right? I say all that to say, imitation is not the highest form of flattery. It's actually weird to try to be like someone else. You want to be yourself because we are all individuals. If anybody was meant to be like you, you'd have a twin, a triplet, a quadruplet. You'd have somebody just like you if you were meant to be like anybody else. If you were born alone, you are meant to be an individual. And I encourage you to find your identity in Christ in order to see who you really are as a person. When you get off social media and you stop following all these influencers who are influencing you to look a certain way, to dress a certain way, to talk a certain way, to say certain things, because it's scary who they have leading our generation right now. And I know a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about, how they have the blind leading the blind right now. They have women saying the most outrageous things to other women and encouraging them to act the way they act. Not the power of influence. The power of social media is so real, but if you have the wrong people in charge, it could lead the generation straight to hell. Be yourself. Be yourself. And it makes me laugh because I see on TikTok how they be saying, like, to give the illusion of an hourglass shape, you need to be working on your upper body and your lower body. They don't really say anything about your abs and nothing. So I see girls in there with huge guts, literally only working on their butt and they shoulders and arms in there because they want to get an illusion of an hourglass instead of working out your full body. But you're listening to what TikTok says. I saw a girl the other day struggling trying to do hip thrusts on the weight machine. I mean, legs just weak as hell, but just trying to get that content in. You get what I'm saying? Like, it'd be like everybody's doing the same thing, bro. Everybody wants to look the same. Be yourself, bro. Be yourself. The people who go to get surgery to look like the people that they see on social media, they scare me the most because they literally brainwash themselves into thinking that they're not insecure, but you look in the mirror every day and you don't like what you see. How are you not insecure? And going to the doctor doesn't change how you feel about yourself. It may change the outward appearance where you think that more people will be accepting of how you look. But internally, I'm sure you still feel the same. So it's just like, don't be led by other people, right? If you want to do something, do it because you want to do it, right? Don't do something because the world makes you think this is how people should be. This is how people should act. This is how people should look. This is this, and that. Like, it's so many things that people make you think because they want you to be accepting of what they think because they want you to validate who they are as people. The only person you need to validate you is Yeshua, Christ. That's the only person you need to validate you. You don't need validation from the world. So that's why I encourage you to detox. Detox your mind, detox your body, and detox your soul, okay? Take inventory of the things that you listen to. Take inventory of people you follow on social media. Take inventory of people that you allow in your space, the people that you take advice from. Me, personally, I don't take advice from nobody. You know why? Because nobody can know what I need besides me. I'm the only person physically here that knows what I need. Me taking advice from another person, that just gives me the opportunity to blame them when things don't go right. Whereas if I follow what I think, I follow my own intuition, I follow my own guidance, my own leading, and the leading from the Lord, I will make my own decisions. And if something bad happens, if something bad or negative comes from it, I'll only have myself to blame. So I encourage you to be yourself today. In order to be who you are, you have to remove yourself from these environments that you have placed yourself in. Do you look like every other girl on your timeline? Do you look like every girl you hang around? Do you look like everybody you be with? Are y'all buying the same things? Are y'all dressing the same? Are y'all mimicking each other? Are you talking like how they talk? Are you doing what they do? If you find yourself in this paradigm where you are acting like everybody else around you, you need to remove yourself from that environment. I am trying to encourage individuality in our new system that we have, the new system that we're trying to build here in the world. We need more individuals. We don't need more toxic people, bro. We don't. Like the toxicity stuff, like the toxic stuff, it has ran out. We don't need more toxic people. We need more people that are positive, that are leading people towards positive change, that are not leading a generation to go get peed on. That's what we need. We need individuals. We don't need people who are doing what everybody else is doing. It's so weird to me how many women came behind that comment and said, I like the same thing. You cannot tell me that you enjoy getting peed on, bro. You can't tell me that. For a bag, you probably do. You get what I'm saying? But for free, nobody wants to do that, to be degraded for a living. Nobody wants to be degraded. I want everybody to embrace who you are as an individual, bro. It's okay to not want what society makes you think is normal. They have desensitized us to every single thing at this point that we just accept whatever comes out. And that's not how it should be. So if you find yourself looking like the person next to you, looking like everybody on your timeline, talking like everybody on your timeline, being a walking meme, being a walking TikTok, being a walking imitation of an influencer, you need to get your mind right. You understand? God wants you to be who he called you to be. He doesn't want you to be like everybody else. And that's why you're watching this video. Now, if you stayed this long, you might as well go ahead and like my video. I hope you got something from my message today. If you did, make sure you check out some of my other messages. I will see you in the next video. Janique here, Janique TV. And remember to be yourself. It's okay. Peace.